When I said it's not easy to discover your passion, it is because that is a journey that you have to walk yourself. Nobody can help you. But to get to the state of knowing what I am good at, I know I have experimented a lot. If we are not happy at work, we won't be happy in life. Now let's apply this logic to a student.
Sir, you told that it is not very easy for an individual to identify what their passion is, to identify what not only fills their pocket but also fills their heart. So, what do you think are the few tips you can give to for an individual who wants to focus on identifying their passion?
Now, Aditi, when I said it's not easy to discover your passion, it is because that is a journey that you have to walk yourself. Nobody can help you. Even parents cannot help you in this. Parents can tell you what they like for you, they cannot tell you what you like. That is a journey of self discovery. In fact, Aditi, to identify your passion, you need to be willing to explore. Now, for example, today I know that I'm passionate about singing also, and I love public speaking. But to get to the state of knowing what I am good at, I know I have experimented a lot. I have gone for guitar classes, keyboard classes, dancing classes, football coaching, cricket coaching, multiple personality development programs, and only two things clicked in my life: my Karnataka classical music and my public speaking ability. But if I had not explored all the options, I would not have reached this stage. Now, when it comes to careers for students, very few people land directly at the career of their calling. Many times we take 5 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. For majority of us, including myself, before we identify what we like or what is our cup of tea, we first identify what we don't like. It's a process of elimination. But when I've gone in one direction, like I said, you need to have the courage to tread another path if you feel this is not my cup of tea. Now, at the same time, it does not mean that the very first obstacle that you meet, you say, this is not my cup of tea, and step backwards. Because I've seen there are three kinds of people in this world. One, those who do not act, fearing obstacles. For example, let me take chartered accountancy. Okay, there are a lot of people who, because they feel I may not clear CA is very difficult, I may not be able to put in so many number of hours, they don't even start. Okay, that is people who do not act fearing obstacles. Second, people who act only until they meet an obstacle. So, continuing in that example, I enroll into chartered accountancy. The very first test which I don't clear, I decide this is not my cup of tea, let me leave. That is quitting. There's a difference between quitting and discovering that this is not your cup of tea. Third category of people are those who act in spite of obstacles. So, after you have given it your best, and then you discover that it does not make you happy, only then I suggest to look into a different field. There is no one path to success, and the same thing may not cause happiness to everybody. For me, it's education. Maybe for somebody else, it's business. For yet another person, it could be running an industry. One other aspect or suggestion that I would give to help people discover their passion is, like I told you, ask yourself, if you had all the money in the world, would you be doing what you're doing? More importantly, the reason why I would suggest people to take time to discover their passion is because most of our waking hours is our working hour. If we are not happy at work, we won't be happy in life. Now, let's apply this logic to a student. Most of the time, when the student is awake, they are spending time in their school or college or their career path. If they don't enjoy it, they're not going to be happy in life. Well, I said it's not an easy journey. I did not say it is impossible. If you want to really discover your passion and you want to explore, then you should not have the fear of failure. If you look back at my own life, I think there are more things which I tried and I failed than the number of things that I tried and I succeeded. But if I had not gone through that journey, I would not have discovered what would be my cup of tea today.
Sir, what can you tell us more about handling the fear that comes with examination?
See, fear sometimes is just nervousness. Okay, and moderate levels of nervousness or moderate levels of fear of an examination is actually good. Why do I say moderate levels of nervousness is good? That little bit of nervousness that you have before you face your annual examination is what indicates that you are interested in getting the right outcome. Who will not fear an examination? A person who's probably overconfident, a person who feels, anyways, whether I do well in the exam or not, my dad's property will descend upon me. That Mercedes Benz will become mine. So I really don't care what happens in the examination. He will not fear the examination. So, if a person is fearing the examination, it simply means he wants to perform well, he respects the outcome, he wants to get good marks. So, moderate levels of nervousness is good.
But what do you think are the biggest reasons why people fear examination?
Okay, now one is people may fear an examination because they fear getting judged. Honestly, the world is going to judge you before knowing you also, after knowing you also. Before you talk also, after you talk also. A person who fears being judged will end up fearing life. Now, when I decided to quit my chartered accountancy and get into education, okay, in spite of being qualified as a chartered accountant, people spoke. Even now, when we moved from being just an educational institution for commerce and when we moved into science, people spoke. Over time, Aditi, I've realized कहना लोग का काम है, करना हमारा काम है. Don't bother of what people are going to say. Another reason why people fear examination is the fear of unknown. I don't know what will come in the exam question paper. I don't know whether I'll remember the answer in those 3 hours in the examination hall. I don't know whether what I've studied will come. Majority of life is unknown. For example, what question you're going to ask me next is unknown to me. What answer I'm going to give is unknown to you. Whether right now the cameras are recording or not properly is unknown to both of us. 95% of life is unknown. So don't ever fear the unknown. Gracefully walk into it with the faith that you have come such a long way from the time you're born. Similarly, life will carry you forward also.
Given that fear is the most commonly associated emotion with examination, how do you think we can overcome this demon of an emotion, especially during examination?
If you want to overcome the fear for examination, actually, I don't think anybody fears examination. People fear the outcome. Okay, ask anybody to go write an exam, he will go and write it. But when results are being announced, that's when the fear will get built up. So, one suggestion that I would have, Aditi, is focus on the process and not on the result. Right now, I will study hard, I will give my best. Don't focus on the result, let result be the byproduct of the right process. Second, now when I was studying, sometimes this fear would crop into me of I'm not able to recollect the answers or I don't know what will happen in the examination. I used to resort to certain aspects which I know I'm proficient about. For example, let's assume that mathematics is your favorite subject and social studies is what causes problems or fear in you. So, as I'm doing social studies, if in case I start realizing that I'm getting engulfed by this negative emotion of fear, swap to mathematics in that your favorite subject, in that problems which you already know, start solving it. You'll start feeling confident, then come back to social studies and use that courage to conquer this fear that you have here. Another suggestion on how to deal with fear is you need to relax. In fact, Aditi, I've always felt when we are more stressed, we need to relax more. We are more stressed closer to the exam than months before the exam. Unfortunately, we do 100% ulta of this. During exams, I've seen students spend sleepless nights. They try to change their eating habits, their studying habits. During exams is when you need to relax more. Most of the time, the fear that people have is, will I be able to recollect what I've studied? My ability to recollect what I have learned is directly proportional to how relaxed I am. The more calm and relaxed and composed I am, the better I'll be able to recollect in the examination. Now, this is a chicken and egg debate. When you get scared, you start getting tensed and then you will not remember. It will come out of practice. There is no substitute for practice. The more I revise, the more prepared I am, the lesser the fear is going to be. But the most important suggestion, like I said in the start, was don't focus on the outcome, focus on the process.
The evaluation in the Indian education system happens on the pen and paper examination that we give at the end of every year. So, do you think this is the perfect or accurate way of evaluation that a student should go through?
Now, is the annual examination a true reflection of a student's potential? Answer is no. Unfortunately, that's the system that is there. It's not fair that you are judged by the presence of your mind and your awareness in those 3 hours in the examination, whereas the truth is you would have put in a year of effort for it. But my suggestion is, as a student, don't fight the system. Accept the system. If you are really feeling very strongly against this mode of evaluation, do so well, raise your standards to a level where you can influence the system. Right now, accept the system, do the best with what you have. And like my Guru Mahatria always says, it does not matter what you have, what really matters is what you do with what you have. There are many flaws in the Indian education system, and we can go on discussing about it. For example, there are some students who ask, why should we write? Nowadays, everything is typing and everything is technology. Some people ask, why should I remember so many things? Nowadays, I can just refer all the books and I can get into my work. Don't fight the system. Are there flaws in the Indian education system? Yes. Can it be bettered? Yes. Either work towards bettering it, but don't complain about it.